I say quit, I'm not talking about this. So I'm sick of this job and I'm sick of you and I quit. That's right, boss, I quit. Okay, Brad, I only asked if you wanted a cup of coffee. I mean, do you have another job? No, I don't, but I am talking about this. So I tried wearing this wig and I don't really think it's working out for me, but boy howdy am I glad that I gave it a go. I quit. Because really, in many ways, this is one of the hardest things a human being can do. Now, I've exaggerated that just a little bit, but if you do have something in your mind or you have a passion that you want to explore, what usually happens 9 times out of 10 is that if you do have the cojones to go and do it, which is tough all in and of itself, you get there, you start doing it for 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 5 week, 6 weeks, and you get to week 8, and you stroke the beard you're trying to grow, and you look off into the distance, you think, you know, I don't want to give up and I don't want to quit because I want this so much. And actually, now that I am doing it, deep down in my tum-tum, maybe I don't want it at all. Now, this probably comes down to the fact that everywhere you look these days, especially on social media, you will see signs and it says, don't give up, you must hustle, you must have loyalty, and you must have respect. Thank you very much, John Cena. Da-da-da-do. But I don't actually think that's the way that it should be interpreted. Now, of course, you always have to give things time. We can tie it into the gym. You don't do a program for 6 weeks and look in the mirror and think, well, I don't look like Triple H right now, so I give in. No, you have to be patient, you have to be calm, and you have to give it 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, and only then can you make a fair evaluation. But if you are walking down a path that you've wanted to do for ages, and all of a sudden you do start to realize this isn't for you, I think it's massively important that we as a human race start realizing that's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's one of the best things that can happen. I talked about this on many of my videos. You can get out your life list that you do have, maybe even your bucket list. You can find where it says super passionate thing, and you can just cross it off, and you can forget about it until the end of your days. The alternative to this is to not do it at all. And then you get to 70 years old, and once again you look off into the distance, and your beard is probably grey, and you'll ponder, well, now I'll never know whether I would have liked it or not. I'll never know whether actually it was going to change my life. But if you do go and do something and you realize that it's not for you, it doesn't make you a bad person, it doesn't make you a failure, it does not make you a success, it means that you are allowed to quit. This is the number one piece of advice I always give to people who very kindly say, Simon, can you talk to me about training to become a pro wrestler? Number one, you absolutely have to enjoy it, but number two, be honest with yourself, be true to yourself, because nobody else is going to be. And if you are getting slammed around all the time and you're starting to crack up injuries and you're starting to feel bad, why the hell would you keep on doing it? Well, I know why. I have to be the WWE champion. Look at that. It actually worked. Don't tell anybody I bought this. But all you're doing there is probably stopping yourself from walking down a totally different path that may actually lead you to fill this hole that you do have in your stomach. Because that's the reason most people go out there and do this stuff. They just kind of feel like they're missing something from their life and they want to put the pieces together. Once again, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but there ain't just one thing that is going to make you feel complete. Usually you need something here, there, and everywhere. And apparently to give out massages. What has happened now over the years is that we have equated this idea of quitting with the fact that you suck. I don't understand where that comes from, because if you're not happy and you're not enjoying yourself and you're not feeling satisfied with what you choose to do in your day-to-day, then why the hell would you keep doing it? Because even if you do somehow manage to find a way, I don't know, to debut for WWE or AEW or Impact Wrestling, whatever the hell it may be, you're probably still not going to be enjoying it, because once again, I think this is the phrase that we should probably use to sponsor this video. You're not being true to yourself. So you have to listen to your gut instincts. You have to listen to that little voice inside of your head. Sometimes it does steer you wrong. That's when you have to shake your fist there like, damn it, how dare you?
Shake harder, boy!
Sometimes it's actually telling you something that you probably already know. So quit. That's what I'm telling you to do today. I mean, don't quit to the point you're in financial troubles. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying there is no point in keeping this facade up. There's absolutely not. It's just not going to help you. And it's not going to help anybody else, because you won't be happy and you won't be feeling like yourself. And every single time you have to go and do that thing, you're going to have anxiety and you're going to have apprehension. I always talk to people about this. Like, man, I'm just so stressed about this thing. And then you get into a discussion about what this thing is and they don't even want to do it. And that's where it's coming from. And once again, we can bring in the Fitness Palace of Love. We can bring in the gym. You want to get in shape and you want to do cardiovascular activity and you want to look like the damn Hulk, but going to the actual gymnasium and lifting weights is doing nothing for you. There's 1,000 other things that you can do. So embrace one of them instead, and do not beat yourself up just because you made the change. If anything, you should be proud of yourself. You came across an obstacle, you hurled it over it, and now you're headed. And eventually you're gonna hit another one. Very sadly, that's called life. Stinking stupid life. And I can actually tie it into my own experiences when it does come to sports entertainment. Because I actually tried 3 times to become a professional wrestler, and it wasn't until the last time where actually something clicked inside of me, and I was like, this is something I want to pursue. Now maybe that's down to life experiences, and maybe that's down to me learning from my mistakes along the way. But round 1, I just knew that it wasn't for me, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And I went through an absolute roller coaster of emotions before I decided to walk away. And surprise, surprise, in a couple of weeks after I had done it, sure, there was a little bit of sadness there, because like, oh man, I really want to do that. I felt so much calmer, and I felt so much better within myself. Because really, there is nothing more important than how you do feel internally. Now, let's not be silly here. There's always going to be things in life that we have to do, even though we don't want to. But if it's something you're actively pursuing, and it didn't turn out the way you were expected, do that, and do it right now. You do shrug emoji, and you just leave. Hilarity too are always quick to tell other people to do this kind of a thing. I bet you've had a friend or a family member that have shared some thoughts with you. You're just like, well, why don't you just not do it anymore? When it comes to making these decisions for ourselves, we do beat ourselves up about it, and we do kind of go on these flights of fancy, because maybe next time it's going to get better, or the time after that, or the time after that, or the time after that. Before you know it, you're 76 years old and nothing makes sense anymore. And I get it too. This isn't the most revelatory video you've ever seen in your life. Sometimes I just think it needs to be said. Hopefully, I am catching you on one of those days. That's my favorite thing about these videos. On occasion, I do get a message like, Simon, thank goodness you said those things. That's what I needed to hear on a random Monday. And now I'm gonna make some changes. Even if one of those changes is just going, you know what? I ain't gonna do that anymore. So be kind to yourself and be nice to yourself. And as always, this is my catchphrase for all my vids these days. Remember that everybody is going through the same thing. Nobody actually knows what they want deep down in their tootsie toes. We think we have an idea, but there's always a curveball around the corner. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. More importantly, leave a comment below and start this conversation. Click the bell to join the notification squad and click the video on the screen. Patreon.com/Simon316. More importantly, grillermind.com/Simon. And it's Black Friday week. If you're watching this the day the video goes live, it's 30% off everything. Go and buy your favorite subs that I approve. Also Instagram and Twitter at Simon316, TikTok Simon J Miller, on Cameo at Simon Miller, and I have merchandise, Samson Athletics, and Pro Wrestling Tees. They'll also be part of the Black Friday sale. All the information is in the description below. But make some decisions today. Back yourself, bet on yourself, and never look back and never regret it. Look what I did, right? 3 times it took me to become a wrestler. And when I look back on those first 2, did I ever go, man, I made a huge mistake? No. I learned from it, and hopefully that's why when I got to round 3, it all turned out okay. Well, okay to a point. Some people still think I suck. They probably do.